Hello crafty friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really quick and easy page for the Everyday Explorers Co. using the new August stamps that are releasing today, and I'm using my jelly plate and doing some really easy mixed media. So a jelly plate is a plate designed for mono printing, and a lot of times you can do it with wet mediums, but I'm just going in with my Distress Oxides today. So I have scattered straw, worn lipstick, and speckled egg, and I just applied it straight from the ink pad onto my jelly plate, and then I went in with a brayer and just used it to smooth out some of the color transition. So I am blending the pink with the blue and the blue with the yellow, smoothing out some of the color transitions, popping on my 5x8 piece of paper. This is going to go in my Life Crafted album, and I'm just quickly pulling up a print. And what the thing about jelly printing is you don't know what you're going to get, right? You're going in blind. There's my off print. So I was already really excited because I thought it was going to look good. And there's my print. You just go in blind, put your paper on, and pick up the color. And like I said, typically this is done with wet medium, so you could do it with acrylic paint or watercolor, or you can even do it with the Distress Oxides and wet them. But I just wanted a smooth effect, and I didn't want the splotchiness that you would get from wetting it. So I just quickly heat set it. And I'm testing it with my anti-static powder tool because I do want to emboss on it. If you're going to emboss on anything with Distress Oxides, you do want to make sure that your paper is very, very dry before you do any sort of embossing, or the embossing powder will cling to the ink. So I quickly heat set it, and then I tested it with my anti-static powder tool to make sure that I was ready for the embossing. Now I'm using the greenery set from Everyday Explorers Co. This was guest designed by Felicitas, which I was really excited about because it's just really pretty sprigs, and I wanted to make a wreath to put my journaling on top of. So I typed my journaling in my computer, printed it on a 3x4 card, and I wanted to make a wreath with these stamp sets to hold my journaling. So I'm quickly popping it into my MISTI, checking it for position, again, brushing it off with my anti-static powder tool to make sure that the embossing powder only goes where I want it to go. And then I have a giant paintbrush that I keep on my desk just for this purpose to sweep off all the, I think it's cornstarch in these things, but don't quote me. But I have a giant paintbrush on my desk that I use to sweep off, and I'm stamping with VersaMark. Now, I learned, I think my friend Ashley taught me this, so shout out to you, Ashley, that you can emboss with any pigment ink. You don't have to only use like clear sticky inks. So I have VersaMark, which is my favorite black ink. I actually now have VersaFine Clair, which is the same ink but without that hinge pad. Oh, so good. So I'm stamping in the black, and then I'm embossing in black because I wanted it to be really black and shiny, because there's so much color on the page. I did not want those fun leaves to get lost in the shuffle of all that color. So I stamped and embossed in black, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right back in my MISTI, but the opposite direction, so I can stamp the other side. And look at the difference. Like, this embossing powder is not even melted yet, but it is a clear difference between the embossed side and just the inked side. It's just a darker black, and it makes it really shiny. So I'm embossing with Ranger Super Fine Detail powder in black. I will have everything linked in the description box as normal, and then I quickly heat set it, and I've learned that I need something to hold onto my paper so I don't burn my fingers. So I grabbed a binder clip to hold my paper so that I could heat set my embossing powder without melting my fingers off. I'm getting better and better every day, you guys. And this stamp set is just, look at how pretty those sprigs are. I saw some of the members of the creative team did some fussy cutting with that. That is beyond my scope of abilities, but I did like this fun wreath stamped background that my journaling is hanging out on. And I chose to not mat my journaling or anything else because I didn't want to interfere with how pretty this background is with the stamped leaves and the jelly plate printing. So I just chose to put my journaling right flat on the paper. Now what I'm doing here is this is the off print. This is the piece of copy paper that I used to protect my hands while I was pulling my print. Well, it's the same color palette as my print. So I decided to cut a little fishtail banner to put on the picture of Noah. I am scrapbooking a photo of Yummy Yummy Noah playing with his blocks, just being the best boy. So I'm stamping some sentiments from the stamp set. So the stamp set includes leaves, and then it includes some small sentiments in different sizes. So I stamped Everyday Adventure on this same scrap paper. Now this is copy paper, so it's not cardstock. It's not like a high enough weight, but it was good enough, I think, for cutting the little banner that I wanted. So I just cut it with my paper trimmer, and then I cut a little fishtail into the end of it, so it's a banner and not just a scrap, like a strip of paper. And I'm popping it on the photo of Noah, and this is so I can get some of that color on the left side. the right side. This is so I can get some of that color on the right side of my spread. I think it helps to make things look balanced and even. So now I'm stuck that down, sticking my journaling, kind of offsetting it to the right because I want to make sure that enough of those leaves are showing and I'm not like covering everything up. And then I decide that I want to stamp that little label. I think that's what it is. I'm going to call it a label. I decided I want to stamp that little label. So I grabbed Speckled Egg because I don't think enough of the blue in my background's coming through. The blue and the pink did make this fun purple. And then the pink and the yellow made this fun. That's the thing about jelly plate printing is everything kind of blends. And I really wanted that sharp pop of blue. So I decided to stamp my label in Speckled Egg. So I put it in my mini MISTI. I now have 2 MISTIs, you guys. I am fancy. I am official. So I put it in my mini MISTI because with Distress Oxides, I like to be able to ink more than once, just to make sure that I'm getting the cleanest impression with them, especially with a new stamp. It's just easier to be able to stamp more than once. So I put it in my MISTI and then I just stamped a sentiment in it. I think it was something documented. I don't remember what I stamped in them. But I stamped a sentiment in it, and I'm using my VersaFine ink, and I'm not using my MISTI for this because I left it in the MISTI so that the stamp didn't move, but I'm just using an acrylic block and my VersaFine black ink to stamp right in that banner. Oh, favorite moment, that's what I stamped in there, sorry. Stamped right in this. I'm doing this voiceover like 2 weeks after I made this page, and that is why that is happening. And then I quickly fussy cut that out with my EK Success scissors. I grabbed my big giant foam tape roll. This foam tape roll and I are ride or die. So I popped a little bit behind my die cut banner, and then I grabbed some puffy stickers from Feature Craft, and that completes the layout. So I hope you enjoyed this really quick and easy spread with some mixed media and some journaling and some embossing. It has a few of my favorite things. And then head on over to the Everyday Explorers Co. shop to grab some stuff of your own for the new releases. The new releases are gorgeous, and I have my link in the description box as always. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Until next time, keep it crafty and have the very best day, and I'll see you around. Bye!